Hello everyone! Today I'm going to talk about the expeditions and islands. Note that this video will contain spoilers, so if you wish to explore the world of Aska on your own, now is the time to turn off this video. Still here? Good, let's proceed. During the entire winter, I spent days at the sea to discover all the different islands and find some sea monsters. I am going to give you a tip about finding islands. If we take a look at one of the explored islands, you will notice that the area around it is a little bit lighter. That means that when you're sailing and you start seeing that there is a lighter area around you, you will most likely find an island somewhere ahead of you. If we zoom out, you can see that there is a square right here. The island is most likely somewhere here hidden in the fog. So we are gonna go and explore. With that in mind, we can see that the color is slightly different right here. Next time when I'm sailing past, I will make sure to sail past here to uncover what is hiding in the fog. On screen, you can see all the islands that are currently available in the game. We have a tiny island, small iron island, marsh island, desert island, and Nidhogg island. We also have the habitat of the sea monster, the slumbucker. Each of these islands will have resources for you and your expedition together. This is why it's mandatory for you to bring some tools when starting an expedition. Some resources can be found on all of the islands. We have shipwrecks, small jotun blood shards, small stone clumps, driftwood, reeds, and flax. The shipwreck pile will drop one or more of the items that we need to repair our karvi with. The rest doesn't really need any introduction. Apart from those, each island will have more of certain resources. The tiny island is basically a jotun island. The most important feature of the small island is the exploration tower. The small iron island have a lot of iron deposits. The marsh island has enemy camps full of skeletons. The desert island have new enemy types and new resources. The new materials are jotun glass and the dragonball fruit. The Nidhogg island is a desert island that is the home of Nidhogg. I will show you how the expedition works. When in the expedition menu, when all the necessary items are loaded and crew members selected, all the sections on the right will be green and the embark will be accessible. If we now press on embark, our crew members will come running, and when they all have hopped into the karvi, we can undock and start sailing away. On the right side, you can see that Vikings are embarking and we have 0 out of 8 on the deck. Should you want to abort the expedition, you can do it by looking at the boat, opening the menu with E and pressing on Delay Embarking. Your crew will then run back to whatever their schedule tells them to do. Until all the crew members have hopped on the karvi, we can't undock. The moment the last crew members have hopped on, we now see that we can depart. When you're going on expeditions by yourself with the karvi, you need to deal with the steering and the sails by yourself. But when you have your expedition, you can actually toggle so that one of the workers help you with the sail. By pressing Q, you will see that one of my villagers moves over to the sails. While we are out and about, they are going to adjust the sails so that we always get the best wind. Every time you start assembling a new expedition, all these boxes will be set back to the default. But I can save the layout of what items and crew members to use by pressing over here on save. Then when I'm starting a new expedition, I can press on load and select one of the saved presets. With that, you will not have to add all the food and extra tools or weapons that you want to bring. We are first going to start with the tiny island. After we have docked and I have built our camp, you will see that all of my workers will be assigned to the landing. That means that they are going to defend this camp. When I want them to start harvesting something, I need to open the camp gatherer and assign my workers here. When this is done, they are going to switch jobs from the karvi landing to the camp gatherer. They will go and pick up any of the tools in the ship and start harvesting all the resources on this island. As you can see here, you can dictate what they need to prioritize. Now let's take a look at my minions. The tiny island basically has mostly jotun, nothing more. So I am going to go back to my table and assign some more people. I will also go to the task and set jotun blood on high. My workers will pick up the pickaxes from the ship and start harvesting. Currently there is a bug where the workers pick up more than just one tool. Since they might pick up more tools than they need, I often make sure to give them the tools right before I set them on gathering. Look at them how they are working so hard. I love it. We also find those shipwreck piles on this island that will give us the resources we need to repair our karvi in case we accidentally run into a slumberker. Here you can see a prime example where one of the workers don't actually find a pickaxe, so I'm gonna give him mine. Now before we pack up and leave, I will mention that your workers will remember if they are working at the landing or the gathering next time we dock. So if you know that you are going to an island with enemies, it is wise to switch them over to work at the landing so they don't run into enemies when you dock. There are two ways to reassign your workers to the karvi landing. One of them is to go to the camp gatherer and dismiss the workers. They will then go back to work for the karvi landing. The other way is to take a look at the karvi landing, which is the fence around your camp, and press R to manage workers and assign the workers to the karvi landing. If we take a look at the task, you will see that it is the karvi landing workers who will be doing any repairs to the karvi. The karvi needs to be damaged enough for them to start repairs. Next up, we are moving on to the small island. This island will have some trees, some jotun, and an exploration tower guarded by skeletons. I will build the camp, and I have not switched the workers from the gathering table. If I built this camp close to the enemies, they could have started attacking us while my workers started gathering items. Because we have enemies to defeat, I am going to dismiss all my workers from the camp gatherer so they go back to working for the karvi landing. Here is some footage where that actually happened. Now, in order to make my villagers follow me, I need to use our trusty smolker horn. Equipped with the horn, we bring our 8 workers with us to deal with the skeletons. They will be mostly concentrated around the tower. You will notice that there is one armored new skeleton enemy at these locations. All done. Now we go back to the camp gatherer to set them to harvest. Unfortunately, we can't access the camp gatherer from the map. I did post a suggestion about it on the Aska Discord. On this island, I only want the jotun blood and the carpentry items. While they are doing that, I will get up in the exploration tower and activate it. When activated, it will display a question mark at the location that has a hidden island. Each tower has set islands to point to, so if you have already found all of them, it will not show you any new islands. The question marks will not stay forever, so it is wise to go and explore while we still see them. Should they disappear, you can come back to this tower and activate them again. Before you have started exploring, the map will be pretty small. The more you travel in each direction, the more it will expand. The map is always going to be centered around your main island. When you reach the end of the map, you will notice that it will look like this. When you travel outside of the map, you will notice that if you press on the map, it will not show you where you are anymore. You simply need to turn around and come back inside the map. Outside of the map, there is nothing apart from endless ocean. If the tower has marked islands that are outside of your expanded map, you will not see them, but your compass will still point in what direction you need to go to find them. Next, we will head over to the small iron island. This island do not have any enemies, so we do not need to have them working for the landing. I switched out 2 of my workers, where one of them is my miner. This small iron island has a lot of iron, more than you can fit in one expedition. To maximize how much you can bring back, after they have filled the karvi, you can put some in their inventory. But make sure that there is space for food. I always leave 2 slots available. Here you can see a perfect example where my workers can't do the mining because some klepto took all of the pickaxes. What you can also do is to assign some of them to work on the shipwreck piles instead. Since I don't actually have 8 pickaxes, I am going to remove one of the workers from dealing with iron. As you can see, these iron deposits give also a lot of stone. I'm gonna be honest and say that I really don't need this much stone back at home, so what I tend to do is that I whack them with a hoe. The reason I bother with destroying them is because even if we don't pick them up, the game will have to keep track of them being here, and that will eat our performance. Next on the list is the Marsh Island. Here we will find our first new biome, the swamp. When you start getting close to this island, you are gonna notice that it's much harder to see. Fortunately, the moment you get close enough to the beach, the visibility will become better. This island offers a lot of different resources, but nothing really amazing. What we want to do is to get our crew and go to explore. As you can see, the area is very swampy, but currently there are no new animals here. What we can find are new trees. These trees drop the same kind of wood as the fir trees. As you can see, the island has lots and lots of thatch. But that's not why we are here today. If we go further into the island, you will notice that we see from afar these structures. When we get closer, we see that there are skeleton enemies here. These ruins are also going to have loot stashes, but currently they are unavailable. This is a great place to harvest skeletons and hopefully get some Draugr weapons. On the islands you are going to find different sizes of ruins. Since this island is a little bit larger, you can find a little bit more vegetables and bird nests. Moving on to the next new biome, the desert island. This is a hot and sandy place full of new enemies and resources. The desert islands are always very far away from the main island. After we have landed and taken a look at the map, you will notice that we will have patches that looks just like the ground next to spires at the main island. If we go over there, you will find an enemy camp and enemy vikings. These vikings actually know how to fight, and they also have wolvars as companions. After we have defeated them, they will turn into crows and fly off. These vikings do not drop any loot. The wolvar, on the other hand, drop the same loot as usual. If we attack the tent, it seems that it taunts the enemies that are close by. Destroying the tent does not deactivate it on the map. Next to the tent, we will find one small desert chest. This is where you find loot on this island. Apart from regular loot, you will find a new addition, the jotun glass. These are used to summon the new golems at the Eye of Odin tier 4. More about them in a future video. You will also find deposits of jotun glass around the island that can be mined. The other patch on the map looks like a forest, and it harbors the new trees that offer a new type of food, the dragonball fruit. This food can currently not be cooked into anything new. If we cook it, we will get veggie soup or veggie stew. The raw fruit does have a healing effect. When you look at the map, you will notice that some of the patches are bigger than others, and as you suspect, you will find larger tents or settlements together with more enemies there. The loot will also be more plentiful. Here we have an enemy village. The archers will climb the tower and attack us while their warriors meet us in battle. To deal with the archers, you can either shoot them yourself, or you can destroy the tower they are standing on and they will fall down. After a little bit of fighting, we have cleared out this village. Here we can find 2 small desert chests and 1 medium desert chest. As you will need lots and lots of jotun glass in the future, you should make sure to gather all of it while you're here. Lastly, we have the home of the flying beast, the Nidhogg island. This island offers the same as the desert islands, with one key difference, and that is that the flying beast lives here. Just like Mr. Jotun, it's one of a kind. There is only one Nidhogg island on each map, so it can take a long time to find it. From each map I have seen, it has been on the far stretches close to the border of the map, as far away from our main island as possible. I can say that I was quite unlucky and spent about 60 hours sailing trying to find this beast. I know of players who found it within their first day, so it's all about luck if you sail in the correct direction. As you can see, one of the big differences between the desert island and the Nidhogg island is that there is a lot of shipwreck piles here. I guess Mr. Flying Beast has been pretty busy. With that, we have plenty of resources to gather and bring back to our main island. When we land on the Nidhogg island, you will see that we have more of those camps with enemy vikings. If we're lucky with the weather, we will see Mr. Nidhogg flying around the area. He seems to not be interested in attacking us from afar. Apart from landing next to me while we were clearing a camp, he has been mostly ignoring us. Even running around quite close to his nest doesn't seem to faze him. When you get close enough to where he's landing, you will uncover the Nidhogg's nest. If you walk into the nest, he is going to engage. That open area is the nest. As a quite big difference from Mr. Jotun, Mr. Nidhogg does not need to be summoned with any resources. This concludes my walkthrough of the expeditions to the islands. Thank you for watching.